Can you please take a bite of the donut? It's amazing.
Is everyone waiting?
I'm waiting for you to take a bite of the donut. I think this is extremely important. Why? Because the holidays are coming up. And there's going to be a lot of food involved in those holidays. I do know quite a few people that are like, oh, I'm dieting until the holidays, and then I'm just gonna eat everything. And I'm like, your body's gonna go into shock.
Or you're gonna be very sick.
Or you're gonna be very sick. Like, so we're gonna talk about feelings and food.
We could be here all night, but I'm gonna start with just saying, just remain open to the idea that perhaps your feelings are what's driving your food cravings. Sometimes there's a physical reason, but sometimes there's a very emotional reason. And so back to your thing about the holidays, is that if we constantly make it about this yo-yo idea of our relationship with food, then we really don't have peace with it. So it means we do things like we keep those foods out of our house. It means that we don't allow ourselves to be around those foods. When we are out, when it's like, oh, I don't allow myself pizza. And it's pizza night, I'm gonna eat all the pizza and then I'm sick. Yeah. So it's that kind of thing. Or we're constantly restricting the food, so we're always thinking about the food, it's the elephant in the room. I think that we get in trouble when we start to label these things, not only as good or bad, but ourselves as good or bad if we are eating these certain types of food. And it really comes back to, how do I want to feel? And so today, I want to take us through a little exercise of how to be present with the foods that are called, what we're going to call our trigger foods.
I got some Nature Baker.
Shout out to Nature Baker.
Shout out, shout out.
So, chocolate. All right, so some of the work that we used to do, we talk about how like chocolate is about soothing and it's the nurturing and it's about love. It shows a lot of signs of, and I see there's softness to this chocolate. So there's like love and affection and softness to chocolate. Well, sometimes we can ask ourselves like, how do I want to feel when I eat this donut? And so we start to notice, am I going to this donut? Like literally, am I going, like, look guys, this is food. It's just food. But we give a value. We put a moral value and emotional connection to this food. Normal eating is, and I should say this before I even start, normal eating is under-eating, overeating, eating things that sometimes don't feel so good, eating things that make us feel amazing. It's all of these things. But we have put so many rules around food that it gets up here. And so that's when the shift happens from disordered eating to eating disorder, is when it starts to take over your life. So we're gonna take a red donut, okay? And then we're going to smell it.
Y'all.
I'm aware of my senses, so I feel the donut, right? I already said I felt it, it was spongy. I'm smelling, right? So feel, touch, smell.
So good.
I see it, I'm like, oh, this looks so good, right? I'm gonna allow myself to have a bite of the donut. But here's what we're gonna do. And this is what this amazing psychologist I used to work with, she used to have us do this in the clinic. So take a bite. Now don't chew it, just hold it. And I want you to put it down and allow, now this is what you would do, obviously you would not do this with every meal, but it's a way to help you start to learn how to be present with your meals. So just hold it and taste the texture. Feel what it feels like. Is it cool? Is it warm? Is it smooth? Is it rough? All of those different experiences that you're having with your food. So food is supposed to be, it's so many things, but one of the things is it's supposed to be celebrated, right? So can you just celebrate that in your mouth right now? Give a little party in your mouth.
Celebrate, girl.
Okay, celebrate. So you feel the chocolate, right? Now imagine if you had to eat this entire donut that slow. I bet you would get to a point where you either say, okay, I'm good, I'm gonna save it for later, but I guarantee you couldn't eat 6 donuts that slow. Or even 2, right? But so already, since we've had this conversation, you've already, let it get melt, and you can chew it. But even just in the time that we've been together, it's already sending signals, all the signals you even need to know what that satisfaction factor is. So one of my lowest points, I had binged on, because I wasn't allowed ice cream on my workout program, because I was a trainer, and so ice cream was bad. Well, I was having a bad day, and I said, I'm just gonna have a bite. It turned into 7, that turned into 70, and I got sick, like super sick. And then my way of punishing myself, because that's how I used to react with it, I would punish myself, and I went running in the pineapple fields of Hawaii and got lost.
Poor thing.
It was punishment.
Yeah,
because,
no,
hey,
for
you
sure.
ate all that ice cream, you better go burn it off.
Right. That's what we're taught.
That's what we're taught.
I'll work this off. I can have like this whole thing. We'll work it off
So it's
tomorrow.
creating this relationship with food that food's to be feared. And it's not to be trusted, and your body's not to be trusted. And had I just said, I'm gonna serve myself a bowl of ice cream, had I had that relationship with food, which takes a lot of time if you have a broken relationship with it, I can have a bite of ice cream and I can have an entire bowl of ice cream, and I don't judge myself either way. And I think that that's where we're missing it, is that we think that we start to turn it inwards on ourselves.
Yeah.
And so then this all becomes a game.
Yeah.
Instead of, can I use food to nurture my body? You know, can I use, so one of the things that I talk about in my book is, how are you using food? Are you using it as a reward? Are you using it as punishment? Stop playing the game.
Yeah.
Get off the roller coaster right now. I'm telling you it's not worth it. I'm telling you it's a dangerous roller coaster to be on.
Yeah.
Because it becomes a mental trauma. I don't even know the word, it's torture when you're dealing with constantly thinking about food, pushing down your feelings, avoiding your feelings, and using any substance to numb.
Right. Can you please take a bite of the donut? It's amazing.
Is everyone waiting for
I'm waiting for you to take a bite of the donut.
You first and foremost, you gotta change that behavior. You gotta get yourself outside. You gotta do something, you gotta change whatever it is the pattern is. So maybe it's I come home, I drop my keys, I drop my stuff, boom, kitchen. Whatever it is, we're gonna change that route. Something that simple. And then I do a lot of food journaling, and it's not about your calories, fats, and carbs. It's about what's going on with my feelings at this time. And that way you can start to see, like, oh, I come home and I actually need to go for a walk for a second, or I gotta sit outside, or I gotta lay down. And let yourself do the things that are nurturing yourself instead of turning to the food to nurture you. There was a time in my life that I could not sit in front of that donut. Like, it would, even just a healthier donut would have stressed me out because of the carbs or whatever the rule was, because the rules keep changing.
Oh, they do, constantly.
So whatever the rule was, if it was the fat-free craze of high school, I don't know, whatever it was. But
Count your calories.
That's not where I've cut that cord, and so it doesn't draw me that way. So I think the most important thing we can do as human beings is get to know who we are. And when you know who you are, and you know why you're here, then things like food you'll use to fuel your vessel so that you can live out that mission.
Perfect. I could not have ended that better. That's it. That's all we got.